Danny Vegas Live, Danny Vegas Time. It is segment, Tamra, you have to do it with me, 2. There you go. At the end of the show, you'll get it down.
I'll get it down.
All right. Okay, Tamra Trainer, let's talk about you for a little bit. You know, this is a good time for us to catch up. Like I said, I haven't seen you in a number of years. I follow you on the Facebook.
And I follow you too.
Yeah, I follow you on the Facebook. Give you a little like every once in a while when you're in the gym and all that. So you are, and what I want to show everybody, I want to show this picture. I don't know if Scott can zoom in on that. Now, that's my friend Tamra Trainer. She is a competitive, what do they call it? Competitive bikini
competitor.
Bikini competitor. And we ain't talking about the any pool type stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
no.
We're talking about the real deal. And I love this picture, Tamra, because look at the confidence on your face.
Thanks.
I mean,
I actually did well in that show. That's my favorite show of all time, the Greater Gulf States in New Orleans.
You know, you're wearing a bathing suit that couldn't cover a hamburger, okay? And you're basically up on stage in front of a lot of people, and you just got such a great, confident look on your face. Like, you know what? I got this.
Thanks.
I am a rock star, and I know it.
I'm owning it.
I own it. And here's the interesting thing I love about Tamra is, this bikini competitor stuff it's kind of scientific. I mean, there's different categories and different levels and pro cards and we don't need to know your age or anything, but you're not 20 anymore. But you compete against those gals.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you could easily just kind of go up and kind of like, well, I'm going to be in the 35 to 50.
Well, I'm not old enough to be in the 50, but...
well, I'm just saying that in between, because I don't know how old.
Well, it's just 35 and up or open, or 40 and up, sometimes 45 and then 50.
Right.
50. I don't know how far they go up, but...
you could do that if you wanted to.
If you're in the open, which is the open age group, it goes by height. So because of my height, that is what I think I have going in my favor, because I'm 9 feet tall. And although those girls, when they're 20 and they're 6 feet, I mean, they're just stunning. And they just have these long muscles that are perfect. So,
but I want to know, okay, because the first time I met you were not into this at all.
Oh gosh, no.
And I look at those pictures now, and it's like, it's not even the same lady physically. I mean, in the mind, of course, it is. You've always been impressive. Every time I met you, I'm like, wow, that's
so
Tamra
nice.
Trainer. I know. I always get them.
Dazzle the ladies.
Yeah, I always dazzle the ladies. So, but then. And you came on the radio show with Laura Rubley and I many years ago, and it was a great radio show, and we recorded it, but we had a malfunction in the audio, and you talked for about 3 seconds, the audio stopped, and boy, terrible. But,
just my luck too,
but
right?
You know what? Hey, it took you 5 years to come back. Okay, so and you told us the story, and I'll get it going, and you can finish it up. You told us a story about you were just an ailing, sick, hurting, your back was done woman. I suppose with all that comes the mental attitude that, with all that. And I guess one day, and you were on lots of medication for pain and...
a lot of people have that perception that if you have the back problems or whatever, you're going to be on medication. I never took a lot of medication. I took medication, but I remember when I was in the hospital and they drugged me up all the time, but I consciously said I can't function and go and run a real estate company. At the time I owned a real estate office, and I said I have to be responsible. I'm not going to take all these medications you're giving me. It's going to put me out to sleep.
Right.
And so I took it upon myself to just monitor my intake, but it was more drinking and going out and being social with people and being unhealthy that way, in addition to having physical problems, my back, having such bad back problems and not being physically active at all. I mean, the gym to me that was torture.
Right.
And so there comes a point, a lot of people reach out to me and ask me, what was your turning point? And it's like a blanket answer. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll make a change. And I think I had pretty much gotten to that point of being a chronic complainer and just being aware of what I was doing and saying, okay, what am I going to do about it? And a friend of mine who was competing at the time, I was watching their journey on Facebook, and I just asked, his name is John, and I said, John, help me. We love you, John. I need help. Like, we met at Starbucks. He wrote me out a little diet. I started following it. I started losing weight. Then I started going to the gym and decided, okay, I'm going to work out in a group fitness at Real Results.
Right.
And my trainer at the time, Paul Rosenberg, who trained me when I was 23 years old.
Okay.
So that,
shout out to you.
Yeah. I would show up like hungover. You know, he could smell my breath, the alcohol permeating from the night before. And I'll say this again. I don't have any kind of problems with alcoholism or anything. But in this town, as in real estate or a business, you can go to a social event
every night.
And you know what? You have a drink or two and you do it 4 times a week. That's considered drinking too much, believe it or not. So he would shake his head at me and go, did you go out last night? And I said, oh, wow, yeah, boy, did I ever. And he'd say, you know, you're just wasting your money and your time.
I've been told the same thing by traders. It's like, come on. So the interesting thing is, but I remember on Facebook when this happened, you just, hey, I'm in the gym now. And of course, yeah, okay, good luck with that, Tamra, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I want to get into the fact, we only got 3 minutes. Tell us how you decided to do the competing to where you're literally, okay, I'm going from, you know, I guess just the person on the street to where you are going on stage. I remember the first one you did, different hair color then, red bikini, and you went out there and you must have, first time you went out on that stage, you must have been just scared.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. But, you know, that same trainer said, have you ever thought of competing? And I thought, okay, is he trying to just really embarrass me now? Because I wouldn't even put a bikini on and look in the mirror. It was pretty bad. And so I thought about it, and I thought, you know, I'm going to reach out to a diet coach that does competitions and see if they will tell me the truth. Do you think I could compete? And when they said, yeah, I still was skeptical. I thought, you're just going to take my money. But I thought, you know, the only way you can grow and really make a difference is to challenge yourself in a big way.
Right.
A lot of people make goals that are just really small, and there's not a lot of stretch involved. You don't really have to change completely to reach those goals. And I felt like I had read a quote somewhere, and this was the turning point. It said, live your life in such a way that if anybody spoke badly about you, no one would believe them. And I thought, geez, you know, that's one thing I'm going to take with me. And then I got into the fitness, and I stopped drinking. I mean, I had a glass of wine once in a blue moon.
Right.
And I still do. But alcohol really doesn't work for me anymore. I actually think I'm allergic to it. And it took me 16 weeks to get on stage, and I was scared to death. But I think actually I was not as scared then as I would be now.
Really?
Yeah, because we are in our head more as we do it more.
Right.
We start learning things that we're doing wrong or right, and we just get way too in our head.
It's a science.
Yeah, I mean, it's very scientific.
Like before the show started, we talked about, I do know a couple gals. You know, Noy Alexander was my model
and you
for
introduced
years.
me to her.
And then of course, there's Stacey Alexander. So I kind of
Love
watch
her.
them as fans. I mean, it's a process of going from and getting it down to where it's got to be perfect. Literally, the hour and time that you go on the stage, and if you miss it by a couple days, it could be from first to worst by a day.
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
I travel out of state, but we have to travel a few days early because you attain water when you take an airplane.
Oh, really?
And you have to land and let the sodium come back out of your system.
We're going to talk about this more in segment 3 coming up right after this.